Greetings and welcome back to the lab. Time for another unbagging. More parts have arrived and I got a lot of projects up in the air. So let's just get this unbagged so I can get it cataloged and put away and get moving on to the next project. So here is the bag. Good old AliExpress bag. Well, actually, a lot of other people use it. But let's get this open and see. I'm going to do this carefully. There are probably a bunch of items in here. And yeah, that one I can safely pull out. So bag in a bag. Can we go for 3? What have they sent me? Another bag. Okay, I know what that is, but I'll explain it in a second. Okay, we've got bagging at level 3. But this one I can actually reuse the bag. And what this is a bunch of parts that I completely made a mistake on. What I was hoping for is to get a whole bunch of jacks for banana plugs so I could build the combination volt and ammeter that I want to build. But what these are instead are the 2.1 millimeter barrel jacks. So I will make use of these at some point. It's not a waste of money. It's just not exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's a bunch of red and a bunch of black. And it looks like actually there's some white in there to go along with it, along with the nuts that are needed, all of the hardware. Yeah, this is actually threaded right here, so I can use the nut to thread it on. So this will go on the outside of something, and then I'll use the nut to tighten it up, and I've got plus, minus, and ground somehow. I'm not sure how that works out. I'm going to have to, oh, okay, there's a switch involved. I'll bet you that's what that is. There's a switch. So we'll explore these when I actually need them. What's this other bag in here? Oh, 4th level bag. This is all of the hardware. Okay. That works out nicely. So that's what that one is. Nothing really to demonstrate as I'm not quite ready for it. Bring the main bag in. Let's see what, can pull this one out the other way. Let me see, how am I going to do this? Can I flip it over? Yes. If I can see writing on the other side, I don't want to reveal my address. And I'm just going to have to kind of rip this open sideways because what's in there is turned on me. Did I order something with... Oh, is this, I wonder... Halloween decoration. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's see if there's anything else. Nope, nothing else. So we got more to go in the trash. These are purple lights in the shape of a net. And this is part of my plan for Halloween decorations. I think trying to pull these out is going to get a little tricky. And it looks like I'm going to have to put batteries in this compartment here. Yeah, you know what? I'll make a separate video on putting all of the Halloween decorations together, but you can look these up. It's the spider web, and I did it in, you get a choice of purple and orange. I did the purple. So that'll be part of it. Let's see what else. There should be, I'm not 100% sure what they're sending me right now. So it's kind of a surprise at times, although I have some idea what's coming. And is there one more in here? That's the question. Or is that just how the bag is? Yeah, it's just because the bag is folded over on itself. So, bag level 2. If you're curious, oh, did I just slice into something? Almost. You're curious why they do this? It's because when you order the stuff from AliExpress, there's a whole bunch of different sellers. Those sellers all send it, at least from what I can see, they all send it to a local warehouse, and then that warehouse puts everything together. So when they send it to the warehouse, they're sending it in this bag. And then the warehouse puts all those bags together and puts it into the bigger bag to send it across the ocean to me. Um, but I think what's also happening is sometimes they have, if I order more than one of something, they'll have them already in bags. They'll put those bags in this bag and then send that to the warehouse, which explains why we have another level of bagging here. And look at my address on it. Nope, doesn't look like it. So I think these are LED filaments. Oh, and they pack them differently than I expected. All right, well, these we're going to explore, because in the last video, when I tried to figure out how to light them up so that you could really see, it didn't quite work out. So let's see, this is supposed to be 2.7 to 3.2 volts. Does it say what color it is? Wow. Fourth floor of building 2. No, that doesn't help me. I'm not sure what color these are. These are the 3 volt, and they do say less than 300 milliamps. This one says less than 100 milliamps. Interesting. Those are ratings I'm going to need to keep track of. I wish I could figure out what it's giving me a list of here is all the different possible colors and the different possible voltages that you could run these at depending on what you buy. And then there's different lengths, and these are probably the 30 millimeter. I mean, you know what? I'm going to leave them in the bags. I'm going to set up so I can show you what color they are, and also at the same time, I can write that down on here. Oh, there it is. This actually says red, and that says 6500K. So these are the cold white, and these are the red, and these are for the, I should pull this off carefully, but this is the hover car project that I've been working on. I wanted to get that out so I can get the wires from the last time. These wires are running to this LED here, which, let's see if I can demonstrate. This is more of a warm white, I think. And let's just see if I can do that. It's a warm white. I'm not sure if yeah, there you go. Now that's lit up, so you can kind of see that's the headlight for the car. And I also need to have a tail light that's going to be on the back here. It's going to be the high mount light for the brakes. The problem with this right now is these wires, but you shove that in there this way. Hopefully that comes in a little bit better. And you can see I've got my windows, which I did with vinyl tape, shiny vinyl tape. Everything is kind of painted in as a mock-up right now, but ultimately the plan is to replace this inner piece with one that has little buckets I can stick the lights into, but only stick them in far enough that they're not trying to come out of here, so they'll be recessed back a little bit. The problem was I needed it to hover, so that's why it's sticking out here. This will probably get painted black in the end, this yellowish part, and the buckets will be in here, but not in the purple part, and the purple part will get painted, most likely. I'll also probably get sanded down, and I've got some primer on the way, which is a high-fill primer. The idea being that I can print these at lower resolution on the printer, which goes faster, and then I can give them a good spray with the primer and then sand them down so they're nice and smooth, and the primer will serve as a filler as well, so that I can then paint them whatever final color they're going to get, and I don't have to be as accurate trying to print these out. Now, there are problems that happen with the windows here, and this is actually seems to happen regardless of what quality I print at. So I've got to figure out what to do with that, or lean into the mistake and just call it a contoured window, something like that. So that is what I'm doing with this one. Stay tuned, more to come on this one. But I do want to try and test these out real quick and see what they end up looking like. So let me go ahead and get set up like I was saying, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're ready to test. Let's see if this is truly a 6500K. It kind of looks like by the phosphor that could be the case. The phosphor for the red one should have a real hint of red on it, because these are really, in real life, underneath they are blue. Okay, they are stuck in here. So I can pour one out. Oh, don't get just one, and looks like they're already bent. That is not encouraging, as these things are not supposed to bend. They are rigid. Oh, this is flexible. Oh, that's a saving grace on these things. Okay, they're flexible. Some more flexible LEDs. I am looking for the little dot. There's a little dot on one end, and that should be the positive if I'm not mistaken. And so I'm going to hook that up to the positive there. I want to make sure before I get my final, I'm going to push this all the way up to a 1K so I don't overdrive this, because remember, some of them are supposed to be over or under, there's a limit. 100 milliamps versus, I don't know if you just saw that. I'm trying to get it hooked up. There we go. Okay, what's nice about this is that I can bend it so I can get it into the car, but that is what it looks like at 1K. And if these are supposed to be driven at 2.7 to 3.2 volts, let's just call it 3 volts. And my battery source is this itty bitty little thing here, but that's a lithium ion battery, 4.2 volts. So I'm dropping 1.2 volts at 1K. 1.2 divided by 1,000 is going to be 1.2 milliamps going into this thing. So that's not much at all. So if we were to crank it all the way down to 100, I'd have 12 milliamps going into it. And that's getting significantly bright. And I mean, for a model car, that would probably be enough. The idea is it's supposed to shine forward like headlights. So let's see, if I can take this all the way down to 15, we'd be at 120. And my limit on this is 100. So I don't want to go too far. I'm going to go down to 22. And that should be safe. And one more. There we go. There's 22, and you can see that it's pretty darn bright. The reason I can push these higher than 20 milliamps is because there's multiple LEDs in there. If I turn it way down, let's get it way down, because the last time I did this, I thought with the human eye, I could really see the individual LEDs, but now maybe I've got it down far enough. I'll zoom in, and hopefully you can pick out that there are individual LEDs, and maybe I'll freeze frame for a second, and you might be able to actually count them. Okay, that said, let's take this back up to 1,000 again, and let's go check out the other LEDs, which should be red because these are for the hover car project. Now I'm going to put this back in here. A little hard because they're flexible. Well, I forgot. I had ordered flexible. It probably says it right on here. But when I got the rigid ones, they came in a box, not in a bag. And I was a little afraid of using them, but they're working out. So I'll come up with a project at some point to use those. These are basically the replacement for that. So let's check out the red and see just how good a red they came up with. If these can be used for taillights, I'm still going to have to use the 5mm LEDs, or maybe even a 3mm. We'll see. I still got to do all the design on that work, and I'm actually getting myself ready for Halloween as I record this. So now that I know they're flexible, and because it's not open on the end like the other one, I should be able to do this. I got to figure out how I'm going to catalog all of these. They seem like they're flexible. That or they're all broken. Yeah, they seal them up differently. If these are not flexible, I'm in trouble. There we go. There's one sticking out. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's broken. It feels like it's flexible. Oh, there's another of the white ones sitting down there. Let's see. I do believe that's my negative. So where's my negative? Where's my green? So really all this is I got the battery running through the resistance box, which then goes here. That way I can switch resistance and check these out. And there's your about a milliamp, give or take. We'll turn it up. That's probably about 10 milliamps. And these I can drive to 300 if I read right. Well, less than 300. So I should be able to turn this all the way up. And that is a nice color of red, at least to the human eye. So I think that's going to work really nicely as the high mount tail light on the hover car. I'll try and do this so you can get the idea. That's going to go up here. Oh, that's not long enough. That's a 30 millimeter. I think it was 48. I thought it was 38. Huh. You know what? Let's measure this. I think we can measure it while it's still lit. It's my handy dandy ruler with millimeters on the top. And so this is, yeah, that's 30 millimeter. That is my mistake. Now, it's not the end of the world because I can attach a couple of wires to this, run it through there, and keep it in that cavity that I created for the light. It just won't be quite the same as having it run all the way across. And especially for the other one, for the light, how does this compare in size? There's the rigid. Yeah, it's a different size. So the headlights are going to be too small. I may have to stick with the rigid on that one. I'm sure I can come up with a use for the other. Here we go. Here's the white. Yeah, these are the same length, and they're probably 30 millimeter versus 38. So I screwed up, but now I have some more LEDs to play with. And that's pretty much it for this particular episode. I just wanted to get stuff unboxed so I can actually get it put away and continue on with the project. So if you want to see those, stay tuned. And thank you so much for watching.